and they've just published guidelines for treating boys and men. And they describe what they call traditional masculinity. And they describe traditional masculinity not as a set of characteristics that are, inherently male. They describe them characteristics like stoicism, high achievement or trying for high achievement, competitiveness, and aggression. They describe all these characteristics not as, well, this is how boys are, but as an ideology that is known as traditional masculinity. To me, when I saw that, I said to myself, well, to psychologists, traditional masculinity is basically what the deplorables are to politics. They don't like the way boys and men are, and they assume that these qualities are part of an ideology rather than, okay, boys are more physical than girls. They're more aggressive. They're more stoic. Yes, that's true. They're more achievement oriented or aggression oriented, competitive. Yes, certainly very competitive. All these qualities, we find them to be wonderful when we need firefighters to run up, 30 or 40 or 50 floors of a burning building. And we think they're wonderful when the Titanic's going down and, it's women and children first, or when they're in combat in defense of our country. We like these qualities of competitiveness and stoicism and aggression and all that. But, the APA, the American Psychological Association, isn't thinking of all the good things that men do. When they look at men, all they can see is a problem for women, a problem for homosexuals, a problem for transgender people. They see them as kind of a problem that needs to be fixed in terms of their general characteristics.
Yeah, it reminds me of a few things, if I may. I mean, first of all, thank you for giving us that summary. It reminds me of the fad, which I suppose still continues, of saying that young kids, especially young boys, have attention deficit disorders, put them on Ritalin, medicate them, instead of letting them go outside, run around, and be active and have physical education. To try and say, well, that's an ideological problem, or being male is an ideological problem, being boys is an ideological or a medical problem. And to call it ideological is to imply that it's not natural and it's a choice and a negative choice. This seems similar. Tell me what you think of this. There's this new attempt to normalize being super fat. Now, I shouldn't talk because I am fat, but this
You're not fat,
well, thanks, Fran. This fat acceptance, this put a super fat model on the cover of a magazine, to normalize through changing beauty standards what is unhealthy and faking it, saying, no, that's just as healthy. That is the ideology. And saying that masculinity is a problem that needs to be fixed feels as fake as saying being fat's totally cool and totally healthy, guys. It seems like the whole practice of healthcare is completely corrupt and ideological now.
Yeah, look, men do, if you take a lot of these characteristics that can be very, very good, and you take them and they are turned toward bad, then yeah, aggression is not good. Competitive can be overwhelming, and it can be harmful to a man himself, or to be too ambitious, to be too stoic, and never to seek help when it's needed. I agree that all these things in extremes, they're not good for society, they're not good for men. But the APA is not saying that these are bad when they're extreme. They're saying basically that they're bad in themselves, but they can be changed because we're all socially constructed, right? So all we have to do is recognize that we've been socially constructed in a bad way, and change it. Basically, I think what they would like is for men to become more like women.
That's an excerpt from the Ezra Levant show. Every day I do a video monologue and then I interview an interesting guest. And then I end by reading my hate mail, but you've got to subscribe to it, which you can do at therebel.media/shows.